I'm glad you're here, Maria, because Maria knows how to handle. You have good people around you because you train good people around you.
Okay.
Before you got here, Brad Williams gets here, and our staffer is trying to set up the camera
in the Jets hat.
Handsome Rob right there.
Yep.
Okay.
So like he's somehow less of a person. Rob just walks up behind Brad, moves his chair while he's sitting in it.
No. He didn't move the chair. He moved my shoulders.
Oh, my
He grabbed my shoulders.
Did you ever see The Office when Ricky Gervais moves the girl in the wheelchair? That's what he did. That's what fucking Rob Brent did.
Please tell me you went, wee.
Mini roller coaster.
And then
I can't ride the real ones. It's the biggest thrill I can get.
Oh my God, you can't, can you?
Well, now I got these Nikes that have like a 3-inch lift. I'm great.
How, by the way, with all the stuff about American Disabilities Act and you need a ramp, how can they do that?
Because you fall off the roller coaster.
I know,
car.
I understand. How can they not force them to build certain cars that little people can go into?
Oh.
Wow, this is a good
That's
point.
chapter 2 of dwarf etiquette.
Once that lawsuit happens, every amusement park will have to do it by age.
You're right.
Do it.
Okay, Brad, you need to quit comedy and just start filing class action lawsuits
Yeah.
for the dwarf community.
Against fucking rides that won't let you on. You got to be
I'm
this
gonna
tall.
be I'm gonna be the dwarf Jesse Jackson.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Behind a podium, you're just going to hear a voice. I had a dream.
My first act is to find dwarf accessible podiums.
That's funny. Brad suggested a book. He just mentioned a book called Dwarf Etiquette. And then he said a couple of really funny things about
You should.
That's a hilarious book. That'd be great.
As a best-selling author yourself, Maria, don't you think that's a good idea?
I would totally buy it.
Are you a best-selling author?
I am.
What's the name of your book?
Well, The Every Girl's Guide to Life, The Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness.
Books, plural.
And
Jim.
I just missed the last one, The Every Girl's Guide to Cooking.
You missed what? Well, cooking is
It
a
was
harder
like
one.
by like a few. It was like the most frustrating part.
Why didn't you do Every Girl's Guide to Brain Tumors?
That's true.
That's your next book.
Oh, boy.
That's true.
How are you?
Yeah. It's chill. It's chill.
You can't write.
I forgot about that.
It's chill.
You can't write Brain Tumors for Dummies.
Oh, man. Yeah. I mean.
I don't know,
yeah.
Brad. Maybe she could write a book for you called Brain Tumor Etiquette. And you can figure out how to
It just took a sour turn.
bring these questions up.
Are you mad at Brad for that?
No, I'm not.
No, we're fine. We're good. She'll curse at me later in the hallway.
What are you doing?
I'm going to pick him up and throw him across Sirius Radio.
What beat you on the list? Because when I wrote, I mean, it's been many years. There's one book on the list that, like, for me, The Secret was. I was like, I'm not fucking budging this book. Like,
Yeah,
it was on for-
nobody.
What was the one that was like right ahead of you or two ahead of you that you were like, fuck?
I honestly, all I remember is something called Hungry. There's something with Hungry in the title. I can't remember because that was number 3 with the first one.
Hungry for Laughter? That's the book I'm working on.
That's
cool, right?
Is it?
The Jim Norton story.
Yeah, Hungry for Laughter. Right. And it's me with a fork in front of an audience.
And
Good stuff.
You can
bowl of
satiate
pasta.
that appetite right there.
That's good.
The comic cookbook, Hungry for Laughter.
That's true. How to make people laugh while cooking. Oh, I love. There you go. There you go.
I'm a
Full of
marketing
ideas.
genius.
You are. You're right.
I mean, it's the one benefit of having a swollen head.
Lots of thoughts bouncing around.
Lots of things happening in there.
Guys, oh my. I love it.
Brad can say it.
So your book just missed the list. This one just missed. Yeah, cooking's a harder one because you can't get a lot of crossover for a cook. Like the Girl's Guide to do this, that, but cooking is a rough one.
That was tough.
Yeah, the fact that you got close is amazing.
Literally, we got so close. I was so frustrated because, you're like, all right, we're getting there.
Are you a numbers person? Do you like numbers and tracking things and doing all that?
No, I don't normally, but because I made the list with my first book, after that, you get spoiled.
You
Yeah.
want to
And
make
you're
it,
like,
yeah.
you can't,
wanna get back up
the
there.
next one can't fail.
That's what we talked
No.
to Billy Bob about how he won awards for Sling Blade so early that like everything he did after that now becomes the standard.
Who were you talking to?
Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
just on the plane with him.
Oh,
That's
really?
what Kevin told me that you were
Yeah.
on the plane with him on his way.
He was so lovely. He
He's a great
actually,
guy.
I was going to sit in my seat. He was sitting behind me, and he's like, Maria, and I turned around. I'm like, hi, Billy. And we had like met in the lounge and walked together because we're all friends with his manager Geyer, and so I was like, hey, let's party. Because like you bump into people. I was all alone hoarding a cheeseburger in the lounge, and then I saw them, and I was like, perfect timing. I'm probably got shit in my teeth.
Yeah.
But on the plane, he's like, Maria, and I turn around, and he's like, you interviewed me at the Four Seasons, I think, and we've talked a few times, and and you were really good. He was complimenting me on my interviews, and I was like, that's so nice. Like when people take time,
and actually remember, and they want to tell you did a good job.
I asked him when he was in last week, and I asked him about Sling Blade. I'm like, do you think you'll top that? And he goes, you can't compare what you've done to what you're doing now because people are always going to go with the older comparison.
It's like
you should have asked
famous
him if you
performer.
if you could ever top Armageddon. I mean, come on.
That's true.
Jim, you weren't. You didn't ask him that.
Yes, I did.
You weren't here, Jim. What's stolen valor? You weren't here for the interview.
It's not true.
Yes, it is. You weren't in the studio.
Wait,
you were out that day.
Was Chip here?
Why are you trying to get
Fake
credit
news.
for that? Why are you trying to get
That's
credit
stolen radio host valor.
You didn't do the interview, dude. You were out of town. You were
But
in
that
Vegas.
stuff I would have asked.
Thought about it.
You just want credit for you want compliments on your questions that you didn't ask.
Well, I would have asked, sure.
Thought that counts, right?
Yeah, thank you.
That.
So did you sit with him, or were you guys separated?
He was behind.
Oh, okay. Because I always
He
wonder
had
when
his pod, I had my pod. We were.
Is anybody a dick to you during interviews though? Because you're so nice. Like, is anybody like? Whenever you interview people, there's always some people that don't give information or they're difficult. Like, do you run into that at all? Especially because you're interviewing actors who are very protective.
Yeah, I definitely had like a couple people that were really, really mean. That just really wanted to make you feel stupid.
Really?
Yeah.
And
I saw your interview with Tom Hanks. I know. I know what you're talking about.
I've heard he's a terrible
I
man.
know, man. He's horrible. Tom Hanks.
And you're just like, why? And then actually one person apologized to me years later. It was really
Male or
refreshing.
female? You don't have to say who they are.
Female.
And what did she say? I was in a bad mood that day?
I'd have to ask my USB drive, Kevin. We can call him. But,
he's awake.
he
We know
remembers.
that.
I happened to be in a hair salon with her, and she apologized to me and was like really nice. And
What'd she say? I was an asshole and I'm sorry?
it's probably something like that. I
Wow.
don't remember.
Do you have any idea why a why would a person promoting whatever they're promoting be mean in an interview?
Well, okay, so there are so many different factors. One, they've now talked to 20,000 people that day,
right.
and they're annoyed. Some people just aren't good at press. Like, we take for granted that we're good on a mic and we can like do our thing and be uninhibited and not nervous. Like actors, some of them are real, just true actors, and they can only be bold in that light.
That makes sense.
And so some of them just aren't good at that.
They're
And
not
then-
comfortable.
Yeah. And then now imagine if you're like new at interviewing, let's say, or younger, and you're a little nervous and you might ask them something that they don't like being asked, like
Sure.
a stupid question, like those entry questions, like, so
Sure.
tell me about them. Some of that stuff you have to do to break the ice sometimes.
And sometimes you've heard that question, like, what was it like to work with Robert De Niro in the film? And you just have to like say the same
And it's like,
story.
that's the price of promo. I got called glib by Tom Cruise. He's like, you're being glib, Jim.
Stop it, Matt Lauer.
You and Maria know you didn't interview Tom Cruise.
What else?
It wasn't you.
It's
that
funny.
was Matt. That was a Matt Lauer
Yeah,
interview.
that's funny.
It's a
That's
famous
not.
interview.
It's not the only thing he has in common with Matt Lauer.
Sure, I have a little button under my finger.
Wait, by the way,
Stop saying I stole that valor.
by the way, can I just clarify the button thing?
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it has bothered me for a long time.
Yeah.
Breaking news right here.
Every major executive had a button. It wasn't just Matt Lauer.
Oh, okay.
That's
That
exactly-
would lock the door?
My dad said when he heard that story, he was like, "Yeah, I mean, every executive I've ever been around has had a button that shuts a door, and it's just
Exactly.
because like you have meetings with people, and it could be bad news, it could be whatever, and you're not going to get up.
Oh,
and
I've
shut
never
the door,
heard
you
that
shut the
before.
You
door.
can't get
Yeah.
up every 2 seconds to shut their door. They all had buttons. He wasn't the only one
They
with
did
a
a
button.
story-
It's not a sex
And
dungeon.
they made it sound
Yeah.
like it was a sex dungeon.
They did make that sound like it was a terrible trapped place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did a story on ESPN that Nick Saban has that in his office too. Like he has the
Who's
button.
Nick Saban?
The coach of Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
so,
but my dad was like, that was literally installed in every office.
Isn't it funny how that story became like that's the first reference I went to, and you said Matt Lauer.
Yeah.
The button. I don't know why that became like
And
the fucking
that's-
focal point.
Yeah.
That's the sad thing about some of these things, right? So, like, that made him seem like a huge predator. Obviously, there were things that, took place. I don't know anything about what went on, what didn't go on, whatever, but that was the focal point.
That's right. And the sex toys in the closet, which were like a gift from somebody as a goof. Like, remember they talked about sex toys in the closet?
I don't remember
Yeah,
that.
they did.
I remember that, but you're right. Like they weren't like used.
I've had people on the show, on my shows, that have brought me sex toys.
Quiet,
like
Maria's talking.
Wait, no, the doctor, was it Dr. Laura brought me edible panties? No, not edible panties.
Not Dr. Laura, that was Kevorkian.
Anyway,
Dr. Steve.
People give me that stuff. Like, that just happens.
And you
Whatever.
throw them somewhere.
I just had to clarify that because
What
you
you
said the
need
button,
to
it's
do
bothered me
is have the
forever.
strawberry panties. They're delightful. Dr. Phil impression, everybody. Not,
I was.
not,
I actually thought
not
that was
good.
That was actually really good.
No, it wasn't.
I
thought
thought
it was Clinton.
I thought it was Florentine.
Yeah, exactly. He's Jackie
Oh my
Mason.
God, dude! Oh my
Meanwhile,
God, dude! Brad Williams over here doing
Kevin
the fucking Dr. Phil impressions, guy.
Ooh. Kevin texted me in the meantime. I thought he was going to try to give me the reference, the USB drive thing, but he said that Chip needs a coffee table book for sure.
Yeah, Kevin has been very, very proactive with Chip, and his ideas are good. And he wants to do the coffee table book, and I think he's right.
Can I just tell you, all day, every day at home, it's like, it's chill.
Oh, he says
now-
that? That's chill.
That's
Good for
chill.
Yeah,
Chip.
so I now say it too. That's why when you guys are going crazy, it's chill.
I didn't get the rep.
You didn't get it, and I know. I was like, well, how does he not get this
Do
right
you
now?
understand how happy that makes me?
Then Maria Menounos
that a
came in
woman
here and did
this
a Chip reference.
legitimate in show business is being tortured by this nonsense.
I live for it. Chip's my favorite.
It really is. Like, Kevin Undergaro will call me and be like, here's what Chip needs to do. And I'm like, Kevin, I'm not in control of Chip's destiny.
You're lucky
You need to call Jim, okay?
Your husband is literally everyone's manager.
I know.
Like, not yours, that everyone's.
He's so crazy
Yeah.
that his brain is so good, and it's always like he's always thinking,
Yeah.
always thinking, always thinking. Like, and it's good that you have that access to somebody
Yeah, but
who's
he also-
thinking in so many different directions.
You're right about him, and I've told him this because you told him it's not true. But he's like, he gets like stressed out. He has stuff going on,
Sure.
and I'm like, Kevin. And so like I'll go to like lunch with him or whatever, and he's like, no, I'm just gonna have grilled chicken and some string beans. And I'm like, Kevin, if you stop being everyone's manager all the time and stop worrying about everybody except for the people who are actually your loved ones, you can eat whatever you want. He'll
So
go,
you
but the
think
doctor said,
diet-
and I go, nope. It's because you're too stressed about too many people.
Because you're building podcast studios
Yeah.
for Joey Diaz.
There's too many. Yeah, that's right. There's
Which he did
too
do.
many people in your life.
yeah.
Narrow
Yeah.
it down to the people who actually care about you and you care about, and then have all the pizza in the
No,
world.
he just has such a passion to help people. He really loves it. Like, he really lives for it.
Yeah.
And I said to him the same thing. I'm like, have you got to be a little bit more strategic here? Like, you're just giving gifts away. And some people, not to mention any names, aren't really that appreciative.
But that's the
you
thing.
know?
Oh.
They take it, they're appreciative in the moment, and then it's like, crickets.
Like Kevin loves helping, except then when he kind of gets treated like a piece of shit later,
Are people shitty
that
to
doesn't
him?
feel good. Well, they take
Yeah.
it for granted because he
Yeah.
likes doing it. So then it gets taken for granted,
yeah.
and then he feels shitty because
Mhm.
it
Yeah,
doesn't
'cause then
feel
you
good
feel
to
like
get
you were
taken for
taken
granted.
advantage
Yeah,
of,
exactly.
yeah. So-
Exactly. So
Anyhow.
it happens all the time.
Yep.
But that's what happens when people like to help. You know what I mean? Like people are just like, oh no, they like this. So that helping me is their reward too. I don't need to acknowledge it.
I
Yeah.
just I can't express my joy. It didn't occur to me.
That Maria's
I know
suffering
Kevin's
with
your
Chip.
husband.
You looked at me confused
I
a
didn't
couple
catch
when
it
I
when
said
you said
it.
that's chill. I didn't know you were.
You didn't.
It was Chip. I
You didn't
catch it.
recognize your own catchphrase?
It's not mine. It's his. I hate him, and he hates me.
That would be like me looking at Jaleel White and being like, "Did I do that?" And he'd be like, "Huh?"
Yes.
Yeah, Jim.
I don't get it.
You
Like-
guys got it, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I didn't.
This is what you have to realize. The monster you've created, there's a man that's laying in bed next to Maria Menounos and is giggling because he's got his little earbuds in and he's laying in bed next to Maria Menounos watching Chip podcasts.
Yeah.
The fact that that's infiltrated somehow this very legitimate show business life makes me swell with pride.
It's so great. The other thing that you guys are into very much,
Anal.
well,
I've heard the stories.
Oh my God, the Purina people are outside having a heart attack right now.
He's talking about me and Troy.
Oh my, sorry guys.
we were talking about dogs earlier, of
Yes,
course.
of course.
Talk to us about Purina's Purple Leash project.
What a
'cause this is
beautiful
big.
transition.
It was, yes.
This is big for you. Maria, I mean, you want to talk about having a 70-pound pit in the house?
That's my dog, yeah.
Have you met Maria's dog?
Wait, which one?
You never did you meet Max? I think I was probably terrified to introduce you to Max.
The
kind of
German
dog?
Shepherd?
The Shepherd, yeah.
Oh, dude.
No,
Like
he
beast.
saw me walking into your studio and like thought like, cool, chew toy. Like he was in the window barking at me, and you're like, we can't have you meet Max.
Is he a sick fucking puppy?
Yeah.
Oh fuck, here he is.
God. He's here. Yes.
Is he a nice dog?
Please.
Is he a nice dog, or is he aggressive?
He is
He's so protective.
literally like bipolar in that way. He is a lover with us,
Mhm.
the few people he trusts, which is literally like 5 people, and everyone else he wants to eat.
Oh, he's a killer. How big?
130 pounds.
Yeah.
He's huge.
He's
So,
a
look,
massive German
like,
Shepherd.
Wow.
I love dogs, and I went into the house the first time I met him, and we were walking around the house. Me and Kevin were walking around the house, and he stays, whether it's Kevin or Maria. Max is by their side,
Mm-hmm.
and he was cool with me, and he liked me, and I was like, "This is good." But he has this way about him, where he's looking,
He's like a shark.
Exactly. and he's waiting for pets.
Yeah.
And if I put my hand down, his eyes change, and it's like, oh my God, if I don't keep showing this dog affection, he's going to turn.
Yeah.
And there is nothing I can do to stop
If
it.
you
Yeah.
can somehow get that dog to maul Sam,
It won't be
I
hard.
don't think
I'm
it'll be
surprised
difficult.
he was kind. Kevin, we have to like work really hard to do the intro to get him to be nice. So my
Yeah.
cousins came into town to do Family Feud recently, and I introduced everybody. I was like doing the intro, and I was like nervous. And everyone seemed calm. And then my cousin, who's like 6 feet tall, goes in for the hug. Oh, that was it.
Hugged
he
you.
literally bit him in the ass.
oh my God!
So
It's a
now I'm
police dog.
Then I'm chasing my cousin with hydrogen peroxide. I'm like, bend over, Pete.
He broke skin?
Someone get that soundbite, please.
There was a little something, something. So I was like,
Oh my
Pete,
gosh.
I've
So he-
identified the area. I'm no longer looking at your ass. And then
Yeah.
I'm like patting him down.
Wow. So he like, how do you break someone into it? Okay, this guy's gonna be around the house for a couple days. Don't attack. What do you do to break him in?
Oh, no,
Hold the
there's
hand,
no-
and the dog smells
no,
it, or
we have to like completely keep him separate from people. Like, but if there's people, there's just a way. It just takes. It's a lot of work.
like if I was at your house with Kevin and you, how would I get the dog to not attack me if I wanted to pet him? Because I would want to pet the dog.
You can't do that. We have to do that.
How would you guys do
We
that?
have to work very hard to let him know that you're okay. But then he's going to look at you with a third eye the entire
Yeah.
time. And if you come close, if you're even taller or whatever it is, if you could do just something normal, like go to, touch a back or something, he's just going to like tell you right away.
See,
The
That's
way I
charcoal.
do it is I shake the owner in front of the dog and I say, "See, we're friends. We're friends."
Established dominance.
Anyway, so yeah, no,
How big is that? 130. I can't
he's
get over
6
that.
feet
Huge.
tall when he stands. He's a
Huge.
monster. Yeah.
Yeah.
After I want to see a picture of you have it. I can't.
I will.
I don't think I've ever seen a German Shepherd that big.
He is my everything. We rescued him from West Side German Shepherd Rescue. He's changed my life, saved my life in so many ways because I've always been so afraid. And
In real life?
yeah, and we've had a lot of robberies in our neighborhood, and so he has brought so much peace because I know that the second anyone enters that property, they are going to
over.
see Max in the windows, literally salivating for lunch. Like they're
It's
gonna.
true.
Do you have a sign that says there's a problem
Oh
here?
yeah. And the second you walk in, you will see the
You don't
problem.
even need
he's-
locks on
oh.
the door anymore.
No.
He's
Wow.
the love of my
Leave.
life.
That is
Yeah.
here's what gives
Look
it
at
away.
those
The
paws.
paws.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
The paws are like lion paws.
Yeah, the lion paws is what they are.
He's my soulmate.
He could block shots in the NBA with those
Yes,
paws.
he
That's
could.
insane.
I would win them over though. Animals love me. They're beyond. They can't help themselves.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case.
Please, Max would find
Especially
me
once he
charming.
started hearing chip.
Max would find me charming.
You think so?
Max and I would get along
Max would be
famously.
eating you, and you'd be like, "It's chill. It's chill. It's chill."
Yeah, all of a sudden you'd hear him laughing.
You're a sick fucking puppy.
Yeah.
Your face is so funny once it
I
changes.
know, it's
When
humiliating.
Chip comes out, it's awesome. I'm
What a
scared.
cute dog.
Yeah.
Real jet black. No, nice dog.
But
He's
so
the
this
best.
love brings you to the Purina
Yeah.
Purple Leash
So-
project.
So not only that, but like I've worked for years to raise awareness about domestic violence, and of course, being a crazy animal lover, this project was really dear to me because I don't know if you guys know this, but 10% of shelters in this country will accept people with their pets. So imagine you're in a very scary situation. Now, 1 in 3 women will experience domestic violence, but 1 in 4 men as well. And so you want to take your whole family there. You don't want to leave anybody behind, and that includes your pet. And with only 10% of shelters accepting, that means half of survivors are staying in abusive situations. We can't have that
Because they want
obviously.
to be with the dog. Too.
You don't want to leave
Would
your
you
dog.
leave your pet?
No.
Never.
Especially with somebody who's abusive.
No matter how many times my wife kicks me in the fucking face.
That's right.
Well,
it's an accident, though.
Your wife is a deadly weapon.
She is.
She is a deadly weapon. So,
but Brad, when your face is that close to the floor,
Absolutely.
you can't blame your wife.
Yeah, I know, exactly. She's on the treadmill, for Pete's sake.
You didn't just say that. That's amazingly witty. That was quick.
She's tripped over me twice.
So they can bring their dog. What is this? They can bring a dog with them or no?
So, well, that's the thing. So the Purple Leashes Project was created with Purina in partnership with Red Rover to change that. So Purina's committed $500,000 in grants to help make shelters safe for pets. Mm-hmm. And this way people can bring their pets. Like we were renovating one in Maine recently, and I interviewed this woman because I'm going to do an entire episode on my podcast, Better Together, for Domestic Violence Month coming up in October. It's why I'm sporting the purple. And she said, how could I leave my dog? He literally jumped in as her boyfriend was about to murder her. Literally, she was seconds away from being choked to death. Yeah. And he saved her. He attacked the man he loved. He loved him.
Yeah.
And he attacked him and protected her. She's like, how could I leave my dog in that situation? So we want to change that and we want to fix that. And obviously Purina is amazing to commit so much money to this. And so part of the project is we're trying to raise awareness. So we're encouraging people to social. So if you just social a picture of you walking your pet, which I brought 2 leashes. I need another one. I'm going to give you this one.
Yeah.
They can have, I don't have any pets.
Oh, well, you could walk Sam.
I have. That's true. I have. You wouldn't like what I use as a leash.
Yeah. But Sam, you can walk Chip. So just social a picture of yourself walking your dog, tag Purina, hashtag Purple Leashes Project, and you know, it'll be good to get that.
Well, that's a really good cause.
Yeah. And I'm so dumb and unobservant. You walked in with 2 purple dog leashes, and it didn't occur to me to ask why you had them. What a lousy interviewer I am.
We had really important things to get to first, and then
you're right.
Then we
Dwarf
saved the best for
and
last.
anal, and then the good part.
By the way, Jim, your interview stolen valor.
Valor?
It's already become my favorite bit in the world.
What?
just you lying about interviews.
I'm lying about interviews.
Experiences for no reason. It's like why would you do that?
Because I've interviewed a lot of people, and most people have been very kind. I've had a few jerks. I mean, it's part of it.
Yeah.
Really? Like, who have you interviewed that's been bad?
I don't want to say.
It hasn't been in here.
It has been in here.
Who was it?
I had somebody apologize to me recently.
Really?
I was at a barber, and they apologized.
it.
They came up and they said they were sorry.
While you were getting your hair done.
That's right.
Wow,
You literally.
I had the same exact
took
thing.
Maria's story she just said.
That's not true.
It's the same story.
It's not. Well, it's a coincidence.
I wonder what he's going to say I said when I leave. Right?
Brad?
Yeah, here we go. Purple
That's
leash for
fantastic.
Diego.
Yeah, I'll use a purple leash.
That's
For
nice.
Lila Garrity.
I want to get a dog, but I live by myself and I'm lonely, and I know how to take care of it.
If you live by yourself and you're lonely, those are reasons. What you're acting like that's reasons not
No,
to
no,
get
but
a
I
dog.
travel
like, that's
so
why
much.
people get dogs.
Yeah, I have a cactus.
Oh, okay, so you're fine.
I talk to it.
Sounds prickly.
No, I want to get a dog, though. I would love to have one. Like, I would love to have that. But I don't have an outdoor. You need a yard for 130 pounds.
Yeah.
But I want a dog that menaces everyone on sight. Like, doesn't have to bite people.
You need a poodle. A poodle would be amazing
How
for
big?
you. No, like a little poodle, because
Yeah.
they're
you see
bitchy
the purse dog?
and funny.
People are already
and,
wondering
like,
about me. Do I need to
protective.
confirm it? It's a yes, folks.
Literally everybody sees you with a tiny little bag dog. That's
know
how
they
people
do.
see you.
I would die.
Wouldn't it be great?
I
and
think-
you took it everywhere?
Well, no, because poodles are just so they have got so much personality.
Wait a minute,
right?
Jim. I've got it. I know you travel a lot.
Mhm.
Emotional support dog.
Yes.
Yes.
Bring it
I
on the
have to give him
plane
a
with
cool
you.
name,
Totally.
though.
Like what?
Satan.
This is my poodle, Satan.
Yeah, it's my poodle, Satan.
I'm gonna pull up a
Jim,
picture of Winnie and let's see if she
Jim,
would look like a
Jim,
Satan.
you would be the guy that has like a weird emotional support animal, like this is my emotional support skunk.
Or the small pony that the woman brought. Or, yeah.
Yeah, Shetland pony, or as my people call them, horses.
Here's Satan.
That's adorable.
Yeah, it's
Perfect.
little Satan.
Little Satan.
Yeah, I'll get a little bag dog.
Want more Jim and Sam? Catch up with full episodes and interviews from celebrity guests anytime on demand using the SiriusXM app.